In a previous video, I showed you guys how I remodeled this entryway, and it involved restoring these old wooden doors. And I'm still working on the content to show you guys the more involved process of that. But today, that's not what we're talking about. Today, we're talking about the hardware installation on the new doors. We're going to be installing the Century matte black handle set from Schlage. I'm also going to be installing a Century touch deadbolt lock, which allows me to do the little pin code number thing. That's cool. Now, before you tell me that Schlage is not pronounced that way, guess what? It is. They're a sponsor of mine. They're making this video possible, and so I think I know how to pronounce their name. If you like this hardware too, well, stick around to the end of the video, and I'll show you an affiliate link where you can find it. So we're going to get started with the deadbolt. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it in place and then attach it with some screws. Now, if you're going to be using an impact driver or a drill, I always recommend that you reduce the torque setting and the speed on the tool. That way you don't make a mess of the screws. Did you know your tools could do that? That's what the little rotating chuck in the numbers are for. So next we'll slide the little rod on the back of the deadbolt through the latch itself and then make sure that we get the wire through there and don't get it pinched. On the inside of the door, we'll pop off the little cover plate that conceals where the battery goes, and we'll feed the wire through that plate, get everything lined up, and install it with the two mounting screws that go into the back of the unit. From there, we can install our 9-volt battery, feed it into place, make sure that the wire is out of the way and doesn't get pinched, and then snap that cover plate back on. So far, so good. From there, it's super easy to just set your pin code. No, I'm not going to show you mine, you freaking weirdos. So once I've verified that everything's working properly, then I can go and install the handle set. Right here, I realized that the bottom hole in the new handle doesn't line up with where the old hole on the old hardware went, so, damn. Well, that's a problem. Well, maybe for somebody else, but since you watch my videos, we're going to show you how to fix that. Would I have liked to have discovered this before I refinished the doors? Yes. Can I still fix it as is? Yep, but I'm going to focus on getting the hardware installed first to make sure I have everything the way that I need it. That fix might take a little while, so I'm probably going to save that for another video, but for now, I'll show you the rest of the install and some of the other fixes I have to do. The handle set does have some flexibility in it in that you can move the lower mounting point up and down a bit, but because I think there's been multiple versions of hardware on this door over time, there's different holes in different spots. So next I can feed the latch in just like I did the deadbolt, secure it in place with the screws, and then slide the handle set on, secure the bottom handle with the screw in the washer, and then secure the interior handle with the two screws provided. Then I can test to make sure the latch works, and then slap on the decorative cover for the bottom screw. Next, we can focus on installing the strike plates on the opposite door. Damn! Another problem. You never know who came before you and what kind of hack job they did to install the strike plates. But you're not going to spend your hard-earned money on some premium hardware using the affiliate link in the description down below just to do a half-assed job on the install, are you? Nah, you're not some slumlord slapping things together for some ungrateful kids in some off-campus housing. You're a homeowner now and you bought premium hardware, so we're going to do a nice install. And the way we're going to do that is by installing a little patch in this spot. We're going to take an oscillating tool, we're going to cut out this little piece, and then we're going to use a set of nice sharp chisels. It's something that every homeowner should have, and you should learn how to sharpen them. That way you can have them when you need them. And when it's all said and done, it's going to look something like this. We're going to cut ourselves a little patch out of a piece of scrap wood, and we're going to glue it in there. And don't worry if it sticks out a little bit. You know why? Because you're a smart homeowner, and you've inherited an old hand plane from your grandfather or from somebody else in your family, and it's just been sitting around, and you never knew what to do with it. Well, guess what? This is a perfect application to use it. It'll shave that piece down nice and flush, and you'll be left with something like this. And don't worry about the rest of it. You can just sand it down and then patch it with some wood filler, and you're left with a nice smooth surface. Look at that. Next, you're going to take some of your wife's favorite red lipstick or lip gloss, and you're going to put some on the end of the deadbolt. Then you're going to close the door and line it up, and then you're going to see where that latch lines up. And then you're going to take a drill bit, and then you're going to start carefully drilling out a hole so that the deadbolt lines up and can latch properly. And then you're going to take a break for the night because you look at your footage and you see that the black gloves and the harsh lighting kind of gives off serial killer vibes. So you're going to stop and start again and finish it in the morning. Phew! You still with me? Don't worry, we're almost done. We just got to take a nice sharp pencil, outline our strike plate, and figure out all the rest of the stuff we got to take out. Then we can use a chisel, and we can chisel out all that stuff so that the strike plate sits in there nice and flush. Now, if you're not confident with a chisel, that's okay. They make little jigs, or you can make your own little router jig that you could use to knock out this little strike plate if you wanted to. I'm just showing you that you don't need all that stuff if you don't want to spend the money. So lastly, you can install it, just test it out, make sure everything works good, and then slap some touch-up paint on it, and you're good to go. Look how much nicer that looks than if you just left it the crappy way that it was before. I had to throw on a new piece of weather stripping because I jumped the gun a little bit, but that's a quick and easy fix. Now, obviously, I have a set of French doors, which means I have to do two handle sets. This side is a fixed door, so it doesn't actually work. It's just kind of superficial and looks like a handle set, but it doesn't really work. But the install process is pretty much the same. Now, the only difference with this side is I had to use a fake deadbolt on the top because there was this knockout, and I didn't want to patch this hole, so it was easier to actually just drill it out and make it look like a deadbolt than it was to try and do a big patch right here. So there you go. I'm really happy with the way that this hardware looks. It's kind of modern, and it has a nice contrast between that and the kind of rustic look of the doors, which is kind of a nice thing. So if you like this hardware, go ahead and check it out at the affiliate link in the description down below. If you don't like this hardware, well, Schlage's got 1,000 different options that you can choose from, so make sure you go and check out all their different options for all the lock sets and handles and everything else they've got to offer. And make sure you guys stick around for the next video where I'll show you guys how to patch those holes in the door that we talked about earlier. Until then, have a great day. Go play with your dogs.